Hey, Darren. 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 Hello. Darren. Darren. Well, good news is we found Darren. Good evening, football fans. We are coming to you live from beautiful western Shawnee, Kansas. It is a gorgeous night for some football. The temps are in the upper 60s. The sky's clear and the winds are calm, at least for now. The visiting Falcons of Olathe South come into Mill Valley High tonight with as much optimism and excitement as they've had in years. They're off to a hot 3-1 start that includes a Week 1 victory over Lawrence High. The cast of Falcons includes some familiar names and some new ones too, led by one of the top recruits in the Midwest, senior linebacker, fullback, tight end, do everything, Mr. Jordan Allen. Olathe South hopes to avenge last year's loss at the hands of the Jaguars, a victory that was assured only late in the game by Mill Valley. In that game, the salty Falcon defense held the Jags to just 13 first-half points, one of the Jaguars' lowest first-half totals of the year. Olathe South is ranked number 6 in the 8-10 varsity 6A rankings and number 16 in the 8-10 varsity top 25. The Mill Valley Jaguars are ranked number 1 in the 8-10 varsity Kansas rankings, number 1 in the Acacia rankings, number 1 team in the Lebo Sports rankings, and needless to say, they are thought of very highly across the entire region. Mill Valley come in tonight's matchup riding a wave. Their last defeat was exactly 1 year ago tonight. A tough matchup with Lawrence Free State. It was at their place, who incidentally had a very mobile and accurate quarterback, just like we're about to see tonight. Since then, the Jaguars have roared to a dozen wins in a row, including earning their 3rd state championship trophy in a row and their 5th title since 2015. Chance Lebo, Mill Valley, believe it or not, is a remarkable 24-1 in their last 25 games. Do you think the Falcons can stop this Jaguar winning way tonight behind their flock of playmakers?
Well, I think that this is probably the closest that we've seen Mill Valley come in terms of talent. If you look at these two teams, you stack up their top 5 players for both teams, it's pretty even across the board. This is an Olathe South team that is really, really talented at the top, but how well are they going to play in the margins with the tackles that we're going to see? You talked about one of the best players in the state, Jordan Allen, who might be the best defensive player in the state of Kansas. We are really looking forward to seeing him go up tonight against potentially one of the best up-and-coming offensive linemen in the state, Gus Hawkins, who received an offer from the University of Kansas this past weekend after a visit there. I think that this will be really interesting to see where Mill Valley's at, because we haven't seen them be tested by a quarterback like Olathe South has in Bryce Nornberg. He was an all-sunflower pick last year at quarterback. He is very mobile. He already has 900 yards through the team's first 4 games. He will test them through the air and on the ground. The offense goes through him. How will Mill Valley respond? They have yet to see a quarterback this season like Nornberg, and I think that will play a factor early.
Well, and for you transitive stats folks, the Jaguars and the Falcons have played 2 common opponents so far this year, Olathe Northwest and Shawnee Mission West. The Falcons defeated Olathe Northwest 35-7 2 weeks ago, while the Jaguars defeated the Ravens 40-0 to start the season. The Falcons defeated Shawnee Mission West last week 52-15, the same team that the Jaguars defeated 65-7 in week 2. Well, partners, something's got to give tonight. You got a 3-1 Olathe South coming into the swamp, a 4-0 Mill Valley Jaguar team, and I'm excited. How about you?
Yeah, I'm super thrilled about this. I feel like this will probably be the best game that we have so far this season. And you talked, I wasn't able to do last week's game with you, but you talked about how last week Gardner Edgerton came out and punched Mill Valley in the mouth early, and they came out to a 14-0 lead. You know, you like to see with a team like Mill Valley, who is riding so high off of 3 straight state titles, how can they win? You can't just win in one way. You can't just blow everyone out. How do you respond after going down early? What kind of adversity have you faced? And I feel like Mill Valley is starting to feel some adversity, and this is a championship level team, and they're battling through it just as we expected.
Well, we're about 30 seconds away from kickoff here at Mill Valley High School, and kicking off will be Mill Valley. Doing the kicking duties for the Jaguars is Kenton Loftman. Not Lohman, as I've said for 4 games this year, but Kenton Loftman. He's had a couple of touchbacks so far, averages about 35 yards at kickoff. And he's had to do 16 of those so far. And he's about ready to kick number 17 here as we are about to start some Friday Night Football, and you're watching it live right here on 810varsity.com. And the crowd is a-jumping. It's a pink out night here at Mill Valley. The Falcon faithful on the far side are well represented as well, and that one is going to be the 3rd touchback of this season for Kenton Loftman. That means the Falcons are going to have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line, and we'll have our first look at this Falcon offense that Coach Litchfield says they love to score.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have to score some points to win tonight, if you ask me. But I think that we talked about it in the pregame, not on the show, but we talked about, we've seen 2 games so far this season where Mill Valley kicks off, the other team wants to take the ball, they want to establish their dominance early, and Mill Valley punches them in the mouth and gets great field position. They've got to get off to a good start offensively if South wants to have any chance in this game.
Junior quarterback Bryce Nornberg takes the snap. It's going to be a handoff, I believe, to Max Armstrong. Armstrong struggles to get back to the line of scrimmage. I think they're going to mark him a little bit short. Armstrong, a 5'11", 180 yard. I'm sure he wishes he had 180 yards against the defense tonight. 180 pound. He's just a sophomore, and talking to some of the coaches before the game, they said he's kind of like a bowling pin, or he's kind of like a weeble wobble. He weebles and he wobbles, but he just won't fall down. 2nd and about 11 from the 19, their own 19. 3 receivers to the near, 2 to the far. Norberg wants to scramble. He's got a little bit of room on the far side, and he is stood up by a whole group of Jaguars. I think I see number 5. That's Mr. Jaden Woods getting in on the action over there. Woods, the 6'3", 220-pound sophomore. And Mr. Woods is already starting to rack up the offers from, of course, the big schools around here at KU, K-State, but also getting some interest in some of those SEC schools down south. Yeah,
we talked a couple weeks ago how, we kind of compared him to a Jordan Allen-like player. He's going to have his hands full tonight. And you're going to hear me talk about it a lot tonight, staying ahead of the sticks. You have to get as many 3rd and manageables as you can. K-State last week against Oklahoma. Hate to reference it, but they had a lot of 3rd down and short opportunities they could take advantage of. The whole playbook is at your disposal right now.
3rd and 4 for the Falcons.
And that is not what you want to do. Delay a game, not an opportunity that you want to take now.
A little miscommunication there on the far side. Couldn't quite get set in time. Credit to the Mill Valley crowd. We'll get you an unofficial attendance number here at the end of the first quarter. But I can tell you this, not too many empty seats in the stands on this side. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8.
And this is where I'd expect them to use Jordan Allen in the passing game. He's their tight end. He is at an H-back right now, number 9 on the near side. He is going to be their target. Look over the middle. There's no safety help over the middle. They're going to look to get him the football now.
Jaguars playing tight, showing blitz, and it's coming. Ball's on the turf, and Norberg has to fall on it to avoid disaster for the Falcons, but that's going to bring up a punting situation with just under 10 to play here in the first.
Deja vu all over again. 3 and out for the Mill Valley opposing team. And you just hate to see it if you're an Olathe South fan. We'll see what kind of boot they have here, maybe to set up some, better field position. We've seen Mill Valley take advantage of short field so much this season, and this seems like tonight will be no different.
Back in punt formation. Number 2, that is the quarterback Norberg, and barely got that one away. And catching it in a little bit of traffic there was Olden Zygmunt. But he potentially saved a few yards there from rolling into Mill Valley territory. But Chance Lebo, now we have a chance to look at this Mill Valley offense behind senior quarterback Hayden Jay, candidate for the 8-10 varsity top player in the Metro, as is the counterpart on the other side, Jordan Allen. And we've seen these Jaguars come out to a hot start every time they've been here in the Swamp.
Yeah, it's going to be a chess match between Coach Appleby and Coach Litchfield. Where are they going to line up Allen, and where are they going to try to run the football on the other end? You see Allen top of the screen. He is on the right side of this offensive line for Mill Valley. And now we get a false start on the right side. Trying to get a little bit of a head start. You know, you're facing one of the top players in the state. You're going to want to have an advantage. That time gets penalized for it. And you talked a little bit about Blake Neese, who's out for the season, or out indefinitely with some problems. And, you know, we're seeing a backup tight end. It looks like they're going to have him matched up on Allen right now.
1st and 15 from the 46-yard line of the Falcons. Jay takes the snap. He's looking, has plenty of time. He's got to keep it himself. Back to the line of scrimmage a little bit more, and not much, though. Good stop by big number 50 right in the middle there. Covered a lot of ground, did Aiden Bloom. He's the senior, 6 foot, 200-pound outside linebacker. Led the team last year in tackles for losses.
And there he is,
Batted
Jordan
away.
Allen.
Jordan Allen,
6 foot 240. I mean, the guy is an absolute, he looks like a machine out there. I mean, he is an incredibly talented player. He's going to be a force not just in the passing game, but in the running game, and doing it a lot of different ways. And now another 3rd down and long. Mill Valley hasn't seen a lot of these this season.
Nice pass over here to the near side. It's complete.
Uh-oh, ball came out. Ball came out at the end.
See what they say. A scrum for that was Preston Oliver here on the near side around the 23-yard line as they try to unpack the pile. And they're going to say it. And how about that? A fortuitous bounce goes the Falcons' way. And just what the football doctor ordered for this Falcon team to recapture some of that momentum. Something
we have not seen at all this season from Mill Valley. They have one giveaway on the season, and that is a huge one right there because, you know, a giveaway when it's a 42-0 ball game in the 3rd quarter is not the same as a 0-0 ball game. 9 minutes left in the 1st quarter. This is an opportunity now for this Litchfield-led offense for the Falcons. I would see them take a shot here. Try to take advantage of the momentum right now.
Norberg out of the pistol. Twin receivers to the far. He's going to run it, possibly an option. Cuts it back around the 25-6-yard line. And he's going to be stopped for a little bit of a gain. Grant Rutkowski gets credit on that tackle. 8:39, 8:38 left to play here in the first. No score between the Falcons and the Jaguars here at Mill Valley High School. Glad you're with us on 810varsity.com.
Falcons have to be happy with 3 or 4 yards on 1st down every time. Losses are not going to help you on 1st down.
Norbert takes the snap. He's got a receiver, a high arching pass, and somehow, and what an acrobatic play by the defense of Mill Valley. Not only did it ricochet off one Jaguar, also ricocheted off a Falcon, and finally into the waiting hands of Holden Sigmund. Sigmund with a huge interception, but credit, you almost got to credit everybody that was over there, quite frankly.
Yeah. And I'm going to show my inner baseball fan here. That was a can of corn. That ball was up in the air for a long time. That looked like a routine fly ball. An excellent play on the ball there for Holden Zigmunt. And now, you know, trading turnovers here. Mill Valley with some, you know, not great field position, but a lot better than the other team having the football at their own 30.
Tristan Baker gets the handoff. Turns up, he's at midfield. Tristan Baker all the way in to Falcon territory. Finally brought down at the 32-yard line. 1st and 10, Mill Valley in Falcon territory.
And that has to be a sigh of relief for Tristan Baker. So far this season, just 4.7 yards of pop on the ground. He hasn't been very efficient on the ground, getting comfortable in the ground game early, and they're running away from Allen when they're running the football.
And why wouldn't you? Hayden Jay wants to take a shot. He's got a receiver over the middle, all the way down to the 2-yard line. 1st and goal, Mill Valley. Hayes Miller, the 6-foot senior, who's done nothing but catch a lot of touchdowns this year for the Jaguar team. And Mill Valley wasting no time getting up to the line of scrimmage. A handoff to Baker. He cuts it back. Tristan Baker, touchdown maker, puts the Jaguars up 6-0 with 7:43 left in the first.
Now that is how you take advantage of a mistake by the opposition. That is how you steal the momentum early on. And that's just a great drive right there from Mill Valley, controlling the line of scrimmage, making easy throws for your quarterback. That was a perfect executed drive by the Jaguars, and they take an early lead, and they seem to have the momentum. We've seen 4 possessions so far, and we are less than 5 minutes into the game.
How about that? Brock Worcester will be in for the long snapping duties. Hayden Jay the hold. Lothman with the kick. And it is up. Kick is through, and it's good. 7:43 left in the first. 7-0 Jaguars, and you are watching it live on A10Varsity.com. A lot of thumping and bumping by the Mill Valley faithful here at Mill Valley High. After that turnover, double turnover sequence right there. Loftman's kick is fielded at around the 3. Not quite out. I think they're going to give him forward progress around the 21-yard line, and that's where the Falcons are going to have it. 1st and 10 for their third drive with 7:37 left to play here in the first. And Chance Lebo, you got to think that this is and I know it's cliche, but this is a critical drive right here for the Falcons. And we've seen so many times this year with the Jaguar team, when the opponents have such poor field position, they really struggle to get something going offensively.
Well, they smell blood in the water right now, and a Olathe South team that is struggling to move the football offensively. They don't have an advantage inside the tackles.
We're going to talk about Mr. Allen here in a second. A little pitch out here to the near side. Here's one that I didn't expect to see, but we've got a matchup here, at least on that last play, if you can go back and watch it on your video. But that was Jordan Allen going against Jaden Woods. Now, I understand that Mr. Allen was in kind of a blocking situation, but I'll tell you what, Mr. Woods kind of had his way on that one.
Yeah, he's going to hold his own all night tonight, and he's matched up on that right side with Jaden Berry, 5'11", 290. Woods has the quickness advantage. He's more agile. He'll look to get after him on the right side.
Nornberg under some pressure, he gets away. He's going to run it. He's got a little bit of green now. Cuts around in at the 35, 40, 45, midfield, all the way down to the 30-yard line before he's pushed out of bounds. 1st and 10 Falcons in Mill Valley territory.
And the one thing that Nornberg is going to test for Mill Valley is how well are they going to tackle in space. We have yet to see them have many opportunities to tackle in space because their D-line has played so well. Nornberg doesn't have a lot of designed runs. He's going to try to evade in the pocket, and once he breaks loose, he is a threat to score every time he touches the football, whether it be through the air or on the ground.
Holden Zygmunt was the one that eventually pushed him out of bounds, but not before the damage was done against this Jaguar defense. Not many big plays given up by the Jaguars this season.
How many first quarter snaps have the opposing offenses had in Mill Valley territory in the first quarter this season?
Not many. We got a timeout on the field, and I think I'm going to say that Mill Valley is going to, they're going to charge that one to Mill Valley with 6:49 left here in the first. And that was defensive coordinator Drew Hudgens. Saw something he didn't really like, maybe some wrong assignments in there, but gives us an opportunity to kind of catch our breath here a little bit. A lot of excitement here. 7-0 is your score. Mill Valley over Olathe South in this Sunflower League matchup. Both of these teams coming in with a lot of momentum, and quite frankly, this Olathe South team hasn't had this much momentum in a number of years. First-year coach Litchfield coming in, doing some great things. He came from Pleasant Valley up in Iowa, where he had really good success. Took his teams to the playoffs 4 out of the last 5 years. Trying to repeat that and have some good playoff fortune here for the Falcon team. But right now, the Falcons have it 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line of the Jaguars.
Got Allen on the bottom of your screen. He's going to be matched up with Jaden Woods again. We'll see if they try to get him the football at all. He's their best deep threat in the passing game.
Nornberg going to keep it himself. Scurries up to around the 32-yard line. Brought down by...
That was Jaden Woods.
Jaden Woods.
Matched up with Allen again in the blocking game. I don't think Allen's going to be pass blocking much, but when they're matched up against each other, it'll be fun to watch, and I'm sure that'll be some tape that, Coach Chris Kleiman, Coach Lance Leipold are going to be watching. It piques both of their interests because Kleiman's already got Allen committed to Kansas State. Who knows what Jaden Woods' future holds?
Roll back under some pressure. Defender slips. Another kind of that rainbow type pass, and he had to get rid of that one or take a huge sack. So not a terrible play right there by Norbert.
Well, now you got to convert on 3rd and 9. This is where Mill Valley wants to have them in this position, because now that you can send Brock Wooster, Noah Coy, you can send your linebackers, you can have some exotic blitzes here, you can drop Jaden Woods into coverage, really try to confuse the quarterback here, especially not really on the edge of field goal range. You have to believe this is 4-down territory for Olathe South. Not in great premium punting position at the Mill Valley 35.
3rd and 9, 6:13 left in the first. Norberg takes a snap. He wants to throw. He's under pressure, and he is sacked. The ball is on the turf. They're going to say he was down, but credit Noah Coy from his middle linebacker position coming in to blow up that play, forces a fumble. They're going to say after he was down, but more importantly for Mill Valley, stops the momentum of the Falcons. It's going to bring up a long 4th and 19. Forcing the Falcons to punt. Those
are the exotic blitzes we were talking about. When you can send your linebackers just like a bullet through that offensive line, it is going to be very, very hard for this Olathe South offensive line, who may not be very quick at the guard positions, to do something there. And Noah Coy, no, that's not him. Sorry. I thought he almost blocked a punt. I mean, he's all over the field. He blocked a punt a couple weeks ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Indeed he did. Holden Zigman calls for the fair catch. Mill Valley is going to start their drive inside the 10-yard line, their own 10-yard line, with 5:28 left to go here in the first. 7-0 is your score. Looking at some of the stats here so far, besides that long run by both of the starting tailbacks. And the quarterback, more on that here in a second. Handing off the backfield, gets out to around the 11-yard line. So far in this contest, Hayden Jay through the air 2 of 3, 48 yards. Including that beautiful pass to Hayes Miller to set up the Tristan Baker touchdown, our only points of this game. 2nd and 7 from the 11 for the Jaguars. Jay's looking to his right. He's got a receiver out there beyond the 20, 1st down and then some, all the way out to the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 Jaguars. Hayes Miller with his 2nd grab in the first quarter and his 2nd 1st down with 4:47 left to play in the first.
Well, I'm curious to see who they're going to have matched up with Hayes Miller when he's in the slot. Are they going to move a linebacker on the outside? Are they going to roll a safety down? What are they going to do to guard one of the top players in the state at the receiver position?
And off inside, that one's to Baker. Patient running, waits for his blockers. He barrels his way up to the 45, and that's going to be another 1st down. Move the chains for Mill Valley. 4:27, 4:26 left in the first.
Well, the interior for Mill Valley is going to be tested. They have some beef at the DN position with Jaden Berry and Matt Gray. It'll be a test for them on the inside to get them going, especially with Jordan Allen looming at the outside linebacker position.
Another handoff, this one right up the middle. Ball in the left tackle there. Short gain by Baker out to around about the 47-yard line. But you're right, Chance Lebo, the big Jaden Berry, 5'11", 290. Making his presence felt on that one. Looks to the sideline now. Last second instruction. Hayden Jay, little wheel route out to Baker. Baker not only does it with his feet, but also his hands, pulls that one in. Gain of about 7. Going to bring up 3rd and short.
Whole playbook's at your disposal here. Likely 4-down territory. You can really do anything you want here, but I would expect to see Hayes Miller get the football in this opportunity. Near sideline, going to be a quick short throw, maybe a little hitch route for Hayes Miller. Wouldn't be surprised.
Oliver at the bottom of your screen, Miller at the top. Single back set to the right of Jay is Tristan Baker. 2 tight ends set for Mill Valley. Baker now shifts to the left. And Baker's going to have it. He's got a little bit of space out for him. He lowers his shoulder. lowers his shoulder, takes the ball all the way to the 40-yard line. Another first down, Mill Valley.
I would not be surprised if we saw that more tonight because the linebackers look lost right now with him out of the backfield. You got to account for the BOOB, back out of backfield, if you're going to win this football game. And Hayes Miller, that's Tristan Baker. He's going to be a threat in the passing game tonight.
Short gain, maybe out to the, I should say down. Well, say no gain on that one. 2nd and 10, 2:33 left in the first. 7-0 is your score. Mill Valley over the visiting Falcons of Olathe South.
Hayes Miller in the slot here. This is when they like to target him.
Jay's going to keep it himself. He's got plenty of room. 20, 15, 30, 25. Another first down for Mill Valley. A lot of excitement here tonight in the crowd.
Yeah, they're running a lot of tempo now.
Guest and PA announcer up here on loan from the Kansas City Chiefs. Great to have him up here. Another 2 tight end set for Mill Valley. Single back is Baker. Jay takes the snap, looks it over, has plenty of time, going to keep it and do it himself. Down inside the 20. Mark him down at the 17-yard line of the Falcons. A little bit short of the first down. They're going to have to go 3 more yards for that. See Miller coming off and in for that was Tate Nicola. Preston Oliver coming back in for Mill Valley. Snap again. He's going to keep it himself as Hayden Jay. He's got enough for the first down. Move the chains once again. 1:19 left here in the first, and Mill Valley up by 7. Looking for a little bit more before the end of the first quarter here at Jaguar Stadium.
We've done a great job of neutralizing Jordan Allen in the running and the passing game here on the last couple drives. That's been the key for Mill Valley moving the football.
And off to Baker. Little stutter step. Shuffled back in. Kind of got tripped up there. Got back to the original line of scrimmage, or just shy.
And that tackle might not be accounted for Jordan Allen, but that's a TFL for Jordan Allen. Setting the edge on the outside and forcing him to cut back in. I mean, that's just a textbook play right there, setting the edge. Coaches talk about it all the time. We want our outside linebackers setting the edge. Don't let him get outside of you. Does a great job of putting the anchor down, and an excellent job there for the defense for Olathe South.
Gus Hawkins, big number 8, and look at there. We'll talk more about that in a second, but Hayden Jay into the corner of the end zone.
Oh, my gosh.
He makes the catch, and they're going to say he was out of bounds, just out of bounds. But what a fantastic catch by Hayes Miller. Unfortunately for him and the Jaguars, it doesn't count for 6. But one thing I want to point out in that last one, and for those of you that are watching at home, go ahead and play this one back. But what's going on here on the near side? You've got 6'8", 245-pound Gus Hawkins, one of the premier left tackle recruits in the Midwest, going up against Jordan Allen. And like they say, low man always wins. But quite frankly, Jordan Allen was kind of having his way right there.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job right now. And now 3rd and 11, backed up on your own. Let's see if they try to get the football to Tristan Baker again.
3rd and 12, Jay has a receiver in the end zone. A little bit too strong. Try to get to Oliver. I think he was tripped up there around the goal line.
And that's one of those timing routes that we talk about. You know, the quarterback and the receiver have to be on the same page. When are you going to get out of your break? And we talked earlier in the season about how there's not really a receiver on the team coming back that has experience with Hayden Jay at quarterback. We've seen Hayes Miller be that dominant guy so far, but still, guys like Preston Oliver haven't gotten too many looks in the passing game, and that time just not on the same page as when he's going to get out of his break there with his quarterback, Hayden Jay.
Getting Loftman on for the field goal attempt. Ball's going to be spotted around the 22-yard line. It's going to be a 32-yard line if he makes it. Kick is up plenty of distance, and it is good. Kenton Loftman with his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th points of this matchup puts Mill Valley up 10-0 with 19 seconds to play in the first quarter. It's going to give us just a time. It's just been passed a note here. We're going to bring you up to speed on a few area scores throughout the evening. Brought to you by E10varsity.com. Got a couple of scores so far that are going to be certainly of interest to those watching this game and around the area. We got 19 seconds before the end of this. We're just going to keep it right here. as we see Loftman get ready to do what he's done 3 times already this evening, or beg your pardon, twice. 1, 2, this will be his third. See, I can't count.
Well, the second one that he kicked off was a high kick, and it allowed his coverage team to get down there and make a play, and started the football at the 15-yard line for the opposing offense. He has the ability to do both. Put it out of the end zone, also put some air under it, and help his defense with some good field position.
Back deep is Max Armstrong at the bottom of your screen, at the top of the screen. I believe that is number 3. That's Cooper Warren. And that ball, that's going to be another touchback. Second touchback so far for Kenton Loftman and the Jaguars. And the Falcons are going to have a reset. Opportunity to get something going here at the closing seconds of the first quarter. And Chance Lebo right now, you're Coach Litchfield over there. You got 19 seconds, certainly. It's not halftime, but the end of this quarter coming up. What are you trying to do here before the quarter expires?
Just, get some good, get a good play to start the drive. Have some confidence, maybe get a 5-yard pickup and then be able to talk about a 2nd and 5. I'd rather talk about a 2nd and 5 than a 2nd and 18.
Little Moronberg with the pass over the middle. Wow. Guess who it is? Jordan Allen, 40, 30, 25, 20, and he is gone. Jordan Allen, he does it all. He does it on defense and now on offense. Touchdown, Falcons.
I take it back. You'd rather be talking about a PAT attempt than a 2nd and 18. Excellent throw right there. The middle of the field is going to be available for them because they have a 6'4" target in Jordan Allen that is extremely athletic. You said it. He does it all. He is going to be open a lot. I thought he overthrew the slant from the outside. I was surprised as heck to see anybody in vicinity of the football. An excellent play call right there. They're going to be able to take advantage of the middle of the defense because those linebackers are going to be coming up trying to stop the run. And that's just an excellent play call for Coach Litchfield. Feeling good about yourself going into the quarter now.
A lot of momentum now swinging back in favor of the Falcons. Extra point attempt is up. A little bit low kick, and it is good. With 9 seconds left to play in the first quarter, the Falcons are now on the board 10-7 in favor of Mill Valley. And that kind of quiets the Mill Valley crowd for one of the first times this year here at the Swamp. You talked about it earlier, Chance Lebo. Mill Valley went down to Gardner Edgerton last week, and they got punched in the mouth early, a couple of 3 times. In fact, Gardner Edgerton was up 14-0 going into halfway through the second quarter before Mill Valley kind of got things going. But you look at a game like that, and that's sort of a get-right game. It allows a team like Mill Valley to be able to weather a storm when the momentum's not in their favor.
Yeah, and you talked about what Coach Litchfield's going to be saying on the other sideline. If you're Coach Appleby right now, you're saying, guys, we had a 10-0 lead, and we just gave up a blown coverage. It's still a 10-7 ball game. We've got the football. Like, you can't be too worried about, a big play that happens, maybe a busted coverage, something like that, because other than that play, they haven't moved the ball that consistently. We've seen a scramble and then a broken coverage. Other than that, Olathe South has not gotten anything between the tackles and anything within the confinement of the, drawn up in the sand kind of play.
And how many times this year, or heck, even last year, how many times has someone gone over the top of this Mill Valley defense for a play like that? Kicking off now for the Falcons. Just kind of a little squid kick. That's going to roll out of bounds around the 25. Flag's going to come out. That's going to give Mill Valley a little bonus yardage here. 9 seconds left to play before the end of one here at Mill Valley. The home team up 10-7 over the visitors from Olathe South.
Those are the yards that don't show up in the box score, where Mill Valley's like, it's really nice to have Kenton Lauman on the roster because, Olathe South just started at their own 20. We're going to be starting in premier field position at our own 35. We've had the opportunity to start much better field position because we have a really good kicker and some really good special teams coverage guys. So it has been really nice for Mill Valley to be able to rely on much better field position. And those are the hidden yards that don't show up in the box score that you're not going to look at when you look at the yards, total yards.
Preston Oliver here on the near side. 1st and 10, Mill Valley from their own 35-yard line. Hand off. Now, I beg your pardon. That is a little trickery there. Good fake by Hayden Jay. He's going to keep it himself. Short gain. But with that carry, that's going to expire the time in the first quarter. And how about that, partner? Everything we thought of being a little bit more. 10-7, 3-point Jaguar lead after the end of one. And you are watching it live on a10varsity.com. Back with you here on a10varsity.com. Mill Valley 10, Olathe South 7 after 1 quarter of play. Mill Valley now has its 2nd and 7 from their own 38-yard line. Hayden J. going to hand it off to Tristan Baker. Baker falls forward to around the 41-yard line. Going to bring up 3rd and short for Mill Valley.
This is where you want to be if you're Mill Valley. Field position's good. 3rd down yardage is pretty good. 3rd and 4. Playbook is open right now. This is where they love to get Hayes Miller the football. A little hitch route when he's in the slot, get him open. If they're going to give Hayes Miller a cushion, he's going to take advantage of it all night long, especially in the slot. They've got a linebacker on him right now. That is a mismatch for Mill Valley.
Get to some stats here after this play. No flag, but that was Hayden J. lobbying for a little bit of laundry to come out. And was able to get that call, and that's going to be a free 1st down for the Jaguars. They're going to move the chains again. You know what, as we are looking at some of the stats and how evenly matched they are after 1 quarter of play, Olathe South with 80 passing yards, Mill Valley with 83.
75 of those passing yards coming on 1 play.
By a nice strike to Jordan Allen. 1st and 10 Mill Valley, 11-13, 11-12 left to play here in the 2nd quarter. Some of the fans wanting an offsides card. That was Tristan Baker running him over. Not sure if I think they're going to mark him just shy of the 1st down. I beg your pardon. They're going to go ahead and give it to him. Say move those chains. And someone needs to get over there to that chain gang and give him a Gatorade or something, because they are definitely getting a workout. Both of these teams putting up the yardage so far.
I think they want to measure the football. I mean, we got the opposing sideline near the chain gang. They're probably wanting to measure it because it was pretty close to the sticks, and just moving the chains like they did as quickly as they did. I mean, I would assume that Coach Litchfield is not too happy about that. So it looks like they are going to set it back to 2nd down, or at least going to come out and measure it.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Make it 2nd and 1 from the 45-yard line, or excuse me, about the 45.
The best time to take a shot, 2nd and 1, because you have 3rd down and short in your back pocket. Hayes Miller to the near side.
Miller in motion. Jay's going to keep it himself here on the near side. Turns the corner, pushed out of bounds by Allen around the 40-yard line. Now, if there was any doubt before, there isn't at this point. Move the chains, 1st and 10, Mill Valley. You know, we're talking a lot about Jordan Allen and the defense for the Falcons, but, you know, as we mentioned earlier, Jaden Berry, 5'11", 290. That young man can move. A lot of times you see players that are a little bit heavy like that, and they don't really get off the ball, but he certainly does. Nice little out to Tristan Baker. A little bit short of the 1st down, but he showed his wheels there, getting to the sideline. Puts Mill Valley in a short 2nd down situation. About 2 to go. Ball spotted at the 33-yard line. Twin receivers to the near side. Preston Oliver and Hayes Miller. Offset eye. Hands it off to Baker. He's got a blocker. Tristan Baker, and he spins around, and just one man to beat. He falls down, gets another 1st down. 1st and 10 Mill Valley from the 22-yard line of Olathe South.
Well, we said this would be a test for the interior offensive line. Jack Melvin, Jack McKinnon, and Ty Marsh. They have passed the test so far in this 1st quarter. Still a lot of football left to play, but so far they have looked very good against a really beefy interior for the Olathe South Falcons.
Twin receivers to the near side. Single back to the left is Baker. Baker gets the handoff, and Baker drags the defenders with him down almost to 1st down mark. Let's see, they're going to mark it down and around the 15-yard line. Going to be about a yard short, bringing up 2nd and 1. And you're right, partner, this is a prime opportunity now. 2nd and short, deep in the opponent territory. Why not take a shot?
Especially if they line up Hayes Miller to the short side of the field. Looks like he's going to be in the slot to the near side. This is an opportunity now. Yeah, you got 3rd down in your back pocket. Also, you're in field goal range, so you're not that much of a hurry to, really punch it in here. I mean, they could be at the 40 and they'd still be in field goal range for Kenton Lahman.
2nd and 2 from the 15 of Olathe South. Hayden J takes it himself, but he's going to be It's going to be brought down. No gain on the play. Hello, Jordan Allen.
That was Aiden Baum. He was on the other side. You know, we talk a lot about Jordan Allen. Aiden Baum, last season, 79 tackles, 6 for loss, 2 sacks. He also broke up 7 passes. He doesn't get as much of the credit because a lot of the focus is on Jordan Allen. They've got a really good group of linebackers, an experienced group with 3 seniors in the 3-4 linebacking core.
Aiden J was the meat in that Falcons sandwich right there. 3rd and 5 now for Mill Valley. Man in motion is Oliver. I believe that was Hayden J. He's going to be a little bit shy of the first down. That's going to bring up 4th and short for Mill Valley. Decision time for Coach Appleby and company.
I think it's an easy one. 4th and short, you're getting 3 yards at will right now offensively. And also, you drew them off sides earlier, so you still have that as well. Got to be smart. Know you're down in distance if you're on this defensive line.
4th and 2, balls at the 16 of the Falcons. 15 on the play clock.
A lot of cushion for Hayes Miller in the slot to the bottom of the screen. We're going to see a timeout here, but I think they like what they see from Hayes Miller. You get him on a quick slant, maybe even a hitch, it's going to be an opportunity for him to get the football in his hand.
7:41 left to play before halftime. 10-7 is your score. The home Jaguars over the visiting Falcons of Olathe South, and you are watching it live on A10varsity.com. Ten to 7 in favor of Mill Valley. 4th and 3 from the 16 of the Falcons. Mill Valley leaving their offense out. No kicking by Coach Appleby and company. Preston Oliver on the near side. Hayes Miller, Tristan Baker in the backfield. Hayden J waits for the snap. 22 on the play clock. Gets the snap, hands it over to Baker, and guess what? Tristan Baker, another first down. Tristan Baker is accounted for 8 first downs for the Jaguars so far, and we got 7 minutes and 35 seconds before halftime.
He does such a good job of getting skinny through the hole. I mean, he's 170 pounds, but he really shrinks down and tries to stay tight to the hole, and he does an excellent job of that, and that was evident on that one right there.
I could stay away from the bowls of cereal. Maybe I'd get skinny myself. 7:15 to play before halftime. Another handoff to Baker, all the way down to the 5, 4. Barrels ahead, and yards after contact by this junior running back have to be absolutely off the charts. You know, I know you watch a lot of football too, my friend, and looking at film on a lot of schools and a lot of running backs and playmakers like Tristan Baker, and he just gets it done. That first contact is like, who else is going to bring me down?
Well, we talked so much about hidden yards. We talked about it on the kickoff. Those hidden yards after contact, especially when it comes down to the later parts of the game where they're going to need him.
2nd and 2, another handoff to Baker, and he is stood up, tried to go over the left tackle, Gus Hawkins, but Mr. Allen and company were right there. I want to say that Simon Groves as well was in there.
And this is the part of the field where Olathe South is going to bow up defensively because they're so good on the interior. You think you're just going to hand it off inside to your running back every time when you're inside the 5? No, they've got some beef between the tackles, and it's going to be hard for them to just get that easy yardage here.
Mill Valley can get another first down, but inside the 5, 3rd and 1.
I think they're going to get movement on the offensive side.
I think you're right, partner. There it is. That's going to push back the Jaguars 5 yards. So it turns 3rd and 1 into 3rd and 6. Ball's going to be spotted around the 7-yard line. As we said, Mill Valley can get another first down. They'd have to get it inside the 1 to have those downs reset. As you said it before, Chance Lebo, you got to look at this as 4-down territory anyway.
Yeah, I would believe so, even though you've got a pretty good kicker. Hayes Miller, bottom of the screen. He's Mr. 3rd down.
Hayden J takes a snap. He rolls out to his right. He's got a receiver there, but Allen's chasing to the corner, and he just kind of gets rid of it. He felt and heard the footsteps of big number 9 bearing down on him. and he just threw that one away, and now we see Kenton Loftman coming in to try for his second field goal of the evening to put Mill Valley up by 6 at 5:38 before halftime.
And that's a pro play right there for Jordan Allen. It could have been so easy for him to just say, you know what, I'm going to go for the sack and lose contain. That time, if Hayden Jay gets around him, that's probably a first down for Mill Valley, but he keeps his contain and forces the throwaway, holds his advantage there.
As we see Loftman's kick is up, and it is through the uprights. Was 10-7 in favor of Mill Valley, make that 13-7, a 6-point lead. 5:33 left to play before halftime, and you were watching the Jaguars and the Falcons live right here on A10Varsity.com. .5:33 left before halftime, 13-7, following the field goal by Kenton Loftman, his second on the evening. 6-point lead for the Jaguars. Kind of an uncharacteristic offensive night by the Coach Joel Appleby-led Jaguars, but quite frankly, awful similar to what we saw in last year's game. More on that in a second as we see Loftman's kick is going to be taken around the 5-yard line, out to the 15, 20, 25. A little bit of room. I think that is Max once again. Max Armstrong, the bowling ball, the weeble wobble, gets it done and puts the Falcons in decent field position to start their drive with 5:26 left before half.
Big drive here. Still a one-score game. Like if you're Mill Valley right now, you've still got 8 points that are left up on the board. You got to feel really poorly about how you played inside the opponent's 20 because they've left points up on the board. This game could be on ice right now, but those hidden yards that we talk about, the penalties to make it 4th and long.
And Max gets the carry. He's brought down by 3 or 4 Jaguars, including Mikey, don't call me Mike, Bergeron. He was in there as well, helping on the stop.
And if he's going to play that close to the box and be making plays at the line of scrimmage as a safety, that has to be good news for Olathe South, which means that they can get a tight end over the middle because he's so tight to the running game.
Allen in motion. Nornberg has a receiver down the field, and it is caught. 25-20, he's going to take it all the way. Touchdown, Falcons. Zane Hall, the 6-foot, 185-pound junior, pulls it in from 62 yards away to make this a tie ball game pending the extra point.
Coach Litchfield knows all eyes are on Jordan Allen between the scouts, the fans, us in the broadcasting booth, and on that defense. He's going to use some window dressing and bring the safeties up in the running game to try and stop the 240-pound tight end. And then you see a slot receiver running right down the seam. Multiple blown coverages tonight down the middle of the field. Cannot be feeling great about your safety play so far tonight.
And partner, that kick is good. 4:50 left before halftime. Mill Valley down by 1 to the visiting Falcons of Olathe South, and they are fired up over on the far sideline. A strong contingent of students right there in the middle of the field. Got to be about, 150, 200. Well, as fans, and we're being told that we got about 700 people watching us throughout the land this evening. And glad to have you with us here on A10Varsity.com. Sean Brewer, Chance Lebo. 14-13, Olathe South. And I'm 450. Go ahead there, partner.
I'm going to play optimist for both sides. On Olathe South, you've hit a couple home runs and you are defeating, on their own turf, the #1 team in the state. You got to feel pretty good about yourself. On Mill Valley side, it's easy to look at that scoreboard and say, man, we're losing at home to a team that we should be beating. But also, you've left 8 points on the board thanks to field goals instead of touchdowns. The 2 big plays, the 2 touchdowns that you've given up have been big busted coverages. You have kept them in check between the tackles, between the numbers. It's just been a couple busted coverages. You fix that up in the locker room at halftime, you're looking at a pretty good situation. But you also have to be you got to punch it in when you're inside the 10-yard line of your opponent, especially when you have an advantage at the tackle position, at the running back position, at quarterback. They've got so many playmakers, you got to take advantage of it inside the opponent territory.
And how big was that stop for the Falcons? When Mill Valley had it first and goal, well, just outside of first and goal, but they couldn't punch it in from about the 12-yard line. Huge stop by the Falcons that kind of gave them momentum to add to their total, and now taking the lead. Taken around the 20-yard line and brought down around the 23, and that's where Mill Valley's going to have it. First and 10, 4:45 left before halftime. First and 10, Mill Valley, and eerily similar to what we saw in last year's matchup. In fact, Mill Valley went in leading the Falcons at halftime 13-0, but my, how times have changed. 1 year later, the Falcons of Olathe South up by 1, 14-13, 4:45 left before halftime.
It's easy to get too high or too low right now. You got to keep an even keel on both sides. You can't be feeling too good about yourself, and you also can't be feeling too bad about yourself. You have to keep an even keel.
And to get off to Baker, pushes the pile forward to around the 27-yard line. Going to bring up second, about 8 to go for the Jaguars. Great pressure that time by the interior defensive line.
Gavin Fellingham with an excellent tackle inside the hole. We've seen a couple of times where Tristan Baker has broken it loose through there. That was a great job. Gavin Fellingham stepping up in the hole and meeting him there and then taking him down for a substantial, I mean, 2nd and 8 is a position that Mill Valley doesn't want to be in. They haven't been in a whole lot this season.
Oliver Miller on the near side for Mill Valley. Baker out of the backfield, gets the handoff, and he gets, guess what? No surprise, another first down for Mill Valley. Tristan Baker approaching 100 yards so far on the evening. But another first down for Mill Valley. Down by 1 to the visiting Falcons. Timeout on the field.
There going to be a timeout or nobody was set? Mill Valley wanted to go tempo there. And Olathe South was not set. They had an uncovered receiver in Preston Oliver on the left side at the top of the screen that they would have liked to, that Mill Valley would have liked to take advantage of if it was there.
That'll give us an opportunity. We're going to, throughout the evening, we're going to play a couple of, we're going to take down the audio so you get a break from our voices. Much needed break, I'm sure. Everybody's saying, a sigh of relief, and we're going to promote a couple of things that are going on at each of the schools. We got a couple of basketball camps as well as a pink out night for the Olathe South volleyball team. So more on that here, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Mill Valley High School, 3:56 before halftime. Jaguars down by 1 of the visiting Falcons. Hayden Jay takes a snap. He wants to throw. Nobody home, but he's going to take it himself. 40 out to the 45 and pushed ahead. A little bit of help from Jordan Allen from the back. And that little extra love tap was enough to put that ball in first down territory.
Oh, there's that highlight reel tape that you're going to be looking for Jordan Allen pursuing a very quick quarterback.
Once again, Hayden Jay this time to the near side. Hayes Miller is going to bring it down. Good stretch out. Not quite enough for a first down. Good stop on the defense. I think that was big number 50. That's Aiden Bloom. Said his name a few times this evening.
And offensively, they're saying if you're going to give us a cushion on the outside, we're going to take advantage of it. If you're going to play your corner 6, 7 yards off the ball against Hayes Miller, we're going to throw a couple hitches his way, and we're going to get some easy yards.
And Jay hands it off to Baker, and he's got some room. Tristan Baker inside the 30-yard line for Mill Valley. First down, 3:02 left to play before halftime. Plenty of time for Mill Valley, and I know the Falcons would love to get another big stop here, kind of deep in their own territory.
Cameron Hess and Zane Hall have done an excellent job of preventing some touchdowns. There's been a couple that we have seen Tristan Baker cut loose that just can't get by that one last guy. And it's been the safeties the entire game. They've done an excellent job of preventing those home run hitting plays.
Another carry by the bell cow, Tristan Baker pushes the paw forward. Ball's going to be spotted at the 28-yard line. Makes it about 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9 from the 29-yard line. Clock's a ticking, just over 2:15 before halftime. And Mill Valley trying to regain the lead. That's right, folks. If you're just joining us, the Falcons coming in here to the Swamp. Currently with a 14-13 lead, but Mill Valley on the cusp. Hand off to Baker. He's going left this time. He's got some room. Not enough for a first down. It's going to be spotted down just outside the 20-yard line. That's going to bring up 3rd and very short for Mill Valley. Good. That was good. I want to say that was on the right tackle, or excuse me, the heck was that over there? I think that might have been Matt Gray, the 6'2", 280-pound D end for the Falcons, reversing his field and staying home to make that tackle. Hayden Jay takes a snap, another handoff to Baker. He's got the first down, a little bit more, down to the 16-yard line. 123, 122, clocks are running. Left before halftime. 1st and 10, Mill Valley. This drive is certainly pepping up the crowd here on the near side for Mill Valley. A lot of pink in the crowd. A little pink out. And guess who?
Woo!
Wow. And shut the door, Jared Allen. My goodness. He was expecting that one all the way. And Mill Valley is going to take their second time out of this half with less than a minute to play before halftime. And Mill Valley down by 1 to the visiting Falcons, 14-13. When we come back, Mill Valley's going to have its second and about 9 to go. And you are watching it live on a10varsity.com. Be sure to stick with us here during halftime. We're going to bring you up to speed on some area scores from both the Kansas and the Missouri side of the metro area, as well as some other scores in outstate Kansas of interest. A lot of big matchups throughout the state. Hayden Jay going to roll out to his right. He kind of lets that one go up, but it is pulled in for a touchdown. Brody Brigham, the 6'2" sophomore tight end, pulls it in for 6 to put the Jaguars back in the lead, 19-14, with less than a minute to play before halftime.
Well, there must have been something that the Jaguars liked in the room next to us on film after that timeout. Excellent play call there by Coach Appleby, punching it in, getting the 6 points instead of the 3, and now you have a chance to make up for some lost points with a 2-point conversion.
And Coach Appleby wants to go ahead.
Are they going to call a timeout? They only had one left.
I think they will. Plenty of time on the play clock, but I think Mill Valley is going to go for 2 to make this a 7-point game with less than 50 seconds to play before halftime. In fact, Kitten Loffman was called off of the field. I think there was a little miscommunication on personnel, as you mentioned, Chance Lebo. But Mill Valley regaining the lead on that beautiful pitch and catch from Hayden Jay to Brody Brigham. And Brigham, just a sophomore at 6'2", but we've seen him, at least on film and in person a couple of times, make some beautiful catches and using his body the right way. Not just waiting for that catch to come in, but actually getting in front of the defender to pull it in. I think that might have been Austin Allen that was really given good coverage by the Falcons there. And Hayden Jay didn't have a lot extra time to make that one happen.
Yeah, I mean, they are really playing well at times, but that was good to see them finally punch it in from plus territory, and now a big 2-point conversion here.
So I was saying earlier we'll have scores and a few updates from area games at halftime as well as first half stats. I'm going to give you a quick stat line here. 2 of 4, 148 yards. More on that in a second. Hayden Jay and the Jaguars trying to make this a 7-point game. Going for 2. Jay drops back. He's got Tristan Baker. 2-point conversion maker, Tristan Baker. Makes it a 21-14 Jaguar advantage. 50 seconds left before halftime. A lot of excitement here at Mill Valley High School and Jaguar Stadium. 50 seconds, if I'm not mistaken. The Falcons do have one timeout left. And you got to imagine that Coach Litchfield, he's not going to do anything too crazy. But why wouldn't you give it a shot and try to open things up here a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, you've seen some home run balls so far today, but a lot of those have been on busted coverages. You can't just keep relying on that. I mean, maybe they scheme something up. They don't really have a vertical threat on the outside because with only one timeout left, you're going to have to get the ball out of bounds to try to stop the clock. They don't really have anybody on the perimeter that they really like to use. They really use the middle of the field well with Zane Hall, Jordan Allen, the running back, Max Armstrong at times, but they need someone to emerge on the perimeter. So I would just assume that, maybe we get a Bryce Nornberg QB draw out of the empty set, something like that to just keep him honest.
Of course, the clock's going to stop to move the chains, but you get some of those quarterback draws, that can get 15, 20, even 25 yards, and before you know it, you're certainly within striking distance.
And if you're Coach Litchfield, you have to be feeling good about a 7-point deficit going into the locker rooms. That is, you don't want to, get greedy here and turn the ball over, and all of a sudden you're down 2 touchdowns with a team getting the ball at the half.
It's going to be another touchback, the third of the evening for Loftman. Before that 2-point conversion, I teased a stat line, 2 for 4 for 148 yards, and also 2 touchdowns. Those, my friends, are the stat line for Bryce Nornberg through the air. 2 of 4, 148 yards, and a couple of scores. All he does is throw touchdowns.
Yeah. He's had a couple big runs so far. He's kind of been their playmaker so far. We talked about this offense is going to run through him. 900 yards coming into the game. He's the guy they want to get going both in the air and on the ground.
Nornberg, and he is blown up. Not enough for a first down, but Baruch Hasabu lays the wood, and he's going to feel that one in the morning. But a great job holding on to that one. Clock's a-ticking. We're under 30 to play here before halftime. Nornberg out of the pistol. He's going to keep it himself and draw it the middle. Little hat tip there to Chance Lebo on that call. Gets it down to the 39-yard line. And with 19 seconds left, the chains are going to move, and the Falcons wasting no time. And they're going to go ahead and spike it. Boy, there was a lot of time that ran off there, all the way down to 13 seconds. They have a timeout in their pocket that they can use, but with 13 seconds, you kind of think that they're going to have to go for something big on this one.
Yeah, you have to think that or something to the sideline. Set yourself up where, Nornberg can throw the Hail Mary. You don't need to get all of it here. Maybe they still have a timeout in their back pocket. Maybe get a 20-yard chunk play here on second down, get it to the 40, and just throw up a prayer to your 6'4" playmaker, Jordan Allen. 2nd and 1,
but more importantly, 13 seconds to play before halftime. Falcons and Bryce Nornberg. Nornberg takes the snap. He's got a little bit of time. Now he does not. Runs to the sideline. He throws the ball to preserve a little bit of yardage. Only took 6 seconds. But now they're left with just 7 seconds before halftime.
And now Nornberg has to be aware. He has to be aware that you can't take too much time in the pocket if you want to set up another play. This is 3rd down. They've still got a 4th down in their back pocket that they want. But you can feel this place. The energy's starting to build. Halftime lead going to the locker room. The momentum is on the side of Mill Valley right now.
And it looks like they're just going to go ahead and down this one and let the time roll out to the first half of play here at the Swamp. Mill Valley 21. Olathe South 14 is your score. And what a back and forth battle that we've had so far, and we certainly don't expect any less in the second half of play. We will have, besides getting me a throat lozenge, we're going to have some scoring updates as well as a kind of a stats overview of this matchup right here. And we're going to keep the video on the field. I know that the dance team and the cheerleaders of Mill Valley are going to be out there performing for us, so we're going to go ahead and let them do their thing, and we'll be back with some stats right here in beautiful Western Shawnee, Kansas, live on A10varsity.com. We watch the pride of Mill Valley High School, the Mill Valley Marching Band, under the direction of I'm not sure who, but they're doing a great job. Hats off to them. One of the best bands in all the land. But I can tell you this, right now we've got a number of area matchups of note that kind of some surprises and a few expected scores, but that just kind of started from the top. Bishop Miege up over the Tigers of Blue Valley, 21-0. That is a halftime score. Bishop Miege undefeated. They've had their way with pretty much everyone they've played so far this season. 21-0 over Blue Valley. Halftime score, St. James 28, St. Pius 7. Across state line battle tonight. Blue Valley Southwest 14. Blue Valley North 3. Blue Valley North just having a heck of a time this year, last couple of years, quite frankly. Down to the Timberwolves 14-3 at half. Blue Valley Northwest 20. Blue Valley West 14. Blue Valley West came in ranked, or at the start of the season, top 5 team in the E10 varsity top 25. Right now it's sitting at 2-2, looking to go 2-3 if the Huskies of Blue Valley Northwest can hang on. St. Thomas Aquinas 11, Rockhurst 8. That's a halftime score. Olathe North and Gardner Edgerton doing battle. And now here's a score, a halftime score that you're probably never going to hear again, but a halftime score: Gardner Edgerton 2, Olathe North 0. 2-0. They're not playing baseball, but it's 2-0. Shawnee Mission South and Lawrence Free State. Currently the Firebirds up 17-7 over the Raiders of Shawnee Mission South. Lawrence 17, the Bison out of Shawnee Mission North 7. Coach Andy Walder and the Bison out of Shawnee Mission North, the resurgent Bison, quite frankly. New name, mascot, new identity. Doing some great things over there down on Johnson Drive in Metcalf. But down by 10 at halftime to Lawrence. Olathe South, of course, and Mill Valley going at it right here. 21-14 is your halftime score. The Ravens out of Olathe Northwest, mutual opponent between both these teams that you're watching here on E10 Varsity, and Olathe East. Right now, the Ravens out of Olathe Northwest up 6-0 at half. Shawnee Mission East 30, Shawnee Mission West 7, halftime score. Leavenworth and Baser, one of the highlighted games this weekend around these parts. 17-7 in favor of the Pioneers out of Leavenworth, halftime score. Shawnee Heights and DeSoto. DeSoto, fellow USD 232 squad to these Jaguars, currently up over Shawnee Heights, the Thunderbirds, 7-0 in favor of the Wildcats. Topeka West and Lansing, and right now it's all Lansing, 12-0 halftime score. Piper up big over the Golden Bears out of Turner, 28-0. Tonganoxie 16, Bonner 0. Paola 14, Pittsburgh 7. Lattimore and his Dragons trying to come back from a 14-0 deficit there, halftime score. Spring Hill 42, Ottawa 18. Eudora and Lewisburg all tied up at 14. Eudora with Mr. Ham, one of the highest sought-after tight end recruits of this area. Wait for a couple of other scores to come in here. I can tell you that giving away some free notches up here. Not that we need any. As we said, Paola 14, Pittsburgh 7. Tonganoxie 16, Bonner 0. Eudora and Lewisburg tied at 14. Spring Hill 42, Ottawa 18. Some scores over on the Missouri side. Liberty North 21, Blue Springs 10. Blue Springs South up by 3 at halftime over Lee Summit West 10-7. Lee Summit North 27, Rapec 7. That vaunted Rapec offense being held in check by Lee Summit North. Very salty defense there over in Lee Summit. Staley and Liberty. Right now, Liberty's got the best of them by 8. 14-6 over Staley. That's early in the third quarter. Park Hill and Park Hill South going at it. Right now, advantage to the Trojans out of Park Hill High, 28-21. Oak Park over Lee Summit, 14-7. Fort Osage 20. St. Joe Central 7. North Kansas City 30. Truman 0. Grain Valley 44. Belton 0. Raytown and Black County. Right now, Black County up 17-6. William Chrisman by 7 over Winnetonka, 7-0 at halftime. Excelsior Springs and Grandview. Right now the Bulldogs out of Grandview up by 7, 19-12 over Excelsior Springs. And Kearney 45, Ruskin 0. That is midway through the third quarter. Center over Harrisonville 20-14 in the third. Smithville 20. Raytown South 0. Excelsior Springs and Grandview, as we said, right now it's now 21-12 in favor of Grandview. Warrensburg and Odessa all tied up at halftime at 26. And Chillicothe 26, St. Joe, Lafayette 7. We're going to have a scoring update of the Irish out of Chapman High School a little bit later in the broadcast, thanks to Lebo Sports Productions. And with about, I'm going to say about 2 minutes away from things. In fact, the Falcons are now just leaving the locker room. They'll have 2 minutes after the reset here before we get things going. But now's an opportunity for us to look at some of the stats, our halftime stats, brought to you by A10varsity.com. First for the visiting Falcons out of Olathe South, Bryce Norberg. 3 of 6, 157 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. What a bonkers stat line, Chance Lebo. 3 of 6, 157 yards, and a couple of scores.
Yeah, they've done a good job of scheming guys open. You know, they're taking advantage of the safeties playing so tight to the box. Coach Litchfield is saying, hey, if your safeties are going to be that active in the running game, we're going to take advantage of the middle of the field, and they've done so. And I would expect Mill Valley to come out and have an approach in the second half with how they use their safeties, roll them a little bit, not be as active in the running game because they can get it done with their front 7 in the running game. They just choose to play guys like Mikey Bergeron, Mark Bauer. They choose to play them that tight to the line of scrimmage.
Bryce Nornberg getting it down on the ground as well. 6 attempts for 61 yards, averaging over 10 yards a carry. Max Armstrong, you know, they're that weeble wobble running back, just that sophomore, but he, right now, that defensive line keeping him in check. 3 carries for just 2 yards. And Reed Stainbrook, 1 carry as well. Jordan Allen with that huge reception, that 80-yard pitch and catch that ended up in a touchdown. And Zane Hall, 2 receptions, 77 yards, and he also the recipient of a Bryce Nornberg touchdown toss. Between Allen and Hall, accounting for all 2 scores for the Falcons. Christian Klob, perfect from on his extra point attempts. Bryce Nornberg punting, a couple of them, averaging about 30 yards a punt. And kick returns. You know, as I look through the line here, Bryce Nornberg, he's just a sophomore, kind of a diminutive guy. He's not huge, but boy, how about this athleticism? You know, he's punting, he's running, he's passing, and oh yeah, he's got a couple of kick returns as well for 27-yard average. On the other side for the home team, Hayden J, 8 of 12 for 118 yards and a score. Tristan Baker with a stat line that you would say, wow, he had a heck of a game. This is a halftime stat line, folks. 21 carries, 123 yards, averaging just shy of 6 yards, and also a touchdown to go with that stat line for Tristan Baker. Hayden J on the ground, 9 carries, 49 yards, just over 5 a carry. Hayes Miller, once again the leading receiver for Mill Valley, brought in 3 receptions for 61 yards. Tristan Baker, 3 for 21. Brody Brigham with that beautiful catch. It's his only one, but he made it count. That 19-yard strike from Hayden J. And Preston Oliver, 1 reception for 17 yards. Holden Zygmunt with the interception, big interception in the first quarter. Kenton Loffman, perfect on field goal attempts, 2 for 2, as well as 1 extra point. And Andy Watts on the return has 5 yards. Total yardage so far for Olathe South, 212 total yards. Quite frankly, Chance Lebo, I can't tell you the last time that a team came in here and put up over 200 yards on this Jaguar team in the first half.
Yeah, it's been a pretty efficient go so far. But you mentioned it, the big plays have been an issue for the Mill Valley defense. I would expect them to come out here in the second half and be more keyed in not trying to make the superhuman-like play, a tackle in the backfield from 10 yards deep as a safety. Be more consistent, play your role, and play your keys. And if they do that, I would see Mill Valley coming away with a big win here, especially since this is a huge drive right here. They have to go out and set the tone here for the second half, because you can tell that Olathe South sideline, they're feeling pretty good about themselves. And we talk about getting punched in the mouth, an opportunity to set the tone for how the second half is going to go on the offensive side of the ball for Mill Valley.
Kicking off is going to be the Falcons. Just a little bit of a squib kick, going to be taken by an up back around the 30. That's Preston Oliver. Preston Bright Shoes Oliver. He's brought down shortly after he caught it.
And if you'll remember, he had the fumble in the first half, so maybe he's the guy they target on special teams. I mean, it was a late fumble, maybe a fluky deal, but, just good awareness there by Coach Litchfield. I've been impressed with how he's, handled this game so far. He has schemed guys open. We talked about that at halftime. He's schemed guys open. They haven't really thrown anybody open. They've had some good schemes to get guys the ball in their hands. Get your best players the ball and let them go to work.
1st and 10, Mill Valley. Up by 7, 21-14. Start of the third quarter. Hayden J to the right is Tristan Baker. Baker's going to get the carry. Picking up where he left off, and he is held up in the air and finally swung down. I think that was Gavin Fellingham, the big linebacker coming in. And he just lifted up Tristan Baker. That's one way to stop him, certainly.
Yeah.
Just pick him up off the ground. 2nd and 6, ball on the 39-yard line of Mill Valley. Another handoff to Baker. A little bit slower going so far here early in the third quarter for Baker. Going to bring up 3rd and manageable for Mill Valley.
And that's 23 carries for him so far in the game. A very high number for him. Mill Valley's had the football a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some of Marion Graves, a little bit of Sidney Lockhart here in the second half, just to get him some spells, because this Mill Valley offense, I'm not sure if there's time of possession on those stats, but it feels like they've had the ball for a lot of this game.
Try to get you that information from the truck here shortly. 3rd and 2. Ball's on their own 42. Another handoff to Baker. He's got a little more room, and he stretches forward to midfield, right just shy of the 50-yard line. But that's going to move the chains. 1st and 10, Mill Valley to start their first drive of the second half.
Zane Hall with another big touchdown-saving tackle. He has been the player for their defense so far tonight.
Hayden J waits for the snap. He wants to throw. Quick out. This one on the near side. Tries to get it to Miller, but he was met. That was Aiden Sullivan. Aiden Sullivan, the 185-pound senior. Incomplete. Going to ring up 2nd and 10 for the Jaguars.
Another one of those plays where, okay, you're going to give us a 6-yard cushion. We're going to take advantage of it. But a nice play on the outside. Timing just wasn't there with him and Tate Nicola.
Hayden J rolls out. He's under pressure. Going back the other way. Gets Tristan Baker inside the 50, down to the 46-yard line. That's going to ring up 3rd and about 7 for the Jaguars. Need to get it down to the 41-yard line for a fresh set of downs.
And we're used to Hayes Miller being the guy to go to on 3rd down, but it's been Tristan Baker so far today, taking advantage of the linebackers, just seeming confused in the passing game. We'll see if they can get him involved here. We do have Hayes Miller with a cushion in the slot, potentially, with an opportunity.
3rd and 5, Falcons trying to stop. There's Jordan Allen, but he gets away, does Hayden J, and scrambles for a first down. New set of downs for Mill Valley, all the way inside the 40-yard line. 1st and 10, Mill Valley.
And now you're going to get to see their tempo. They like the team that they have on the field on defense. They like the personnel that they have, and they're going to look to get them out of their fits here with a little bit of tempo offense.
Miller and Oliver lined up on the far side of your screen. Baker with the handoff and the carry, and there's Jordan Allen, and once again, and the ball hit the turf. They're going to say that he was down, but for the second time in, 4 plays, Tristan Baker is pretty much just lifted off the ground. Sometimes, depending on how the defender puts him down, you could see a little personal foul flag.
And definitely not something here in a one-score game, Mill Valley driving. You don't need a 15-yard penalty to help them out at all. Control your emotions. Can't get too high, can't get too low.
21-14, 9:15 left to play here in the third. Handoff Baker up the middle, following the left tackle. And looking at the center, that's Ty Marsh, who did a great job coming out and laying a great block. I think that was against Simon Groves. Seen some action in there.
3rd and 7. Where's Waldo? Got to find Miller, got to find Baker. Where are they at? Don't let him get the football.
Hayden Jay, plenty of time. He's got a receiver on the near side. Did he catch it? They're going to say he did. And that is Hayes Miller. Just like you said, partner, Hayes Miller with a big reception. New set of downs for Mill Valley. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line of the Falcons.
And now they're getting tempo. They got guys running off the field, and it's going to be a flag. I think they had 12 on the field.
Not exactly. Got some excited parents here on the near sideline. Always
and
glad
that's
to hear the passion.
It's just a coaching thing. You have to know when Mill Valley gets a first down, they want to go fast. They have to know that they're not going to be able to substitute after a first down conversion because Mill Valley wants to go fast. They like the personnel they see on the field. They're going to try and go fast. And
now they're finally going to walk it off. The 5 yards. Bring up 1st and 5 for Mill Valley. Ball spotted at the 22-yard line of the Falcons. Hayden Jay waits for the snap. Tristan Baker to the right. Man in motion as Miller hits the ground, does the snap, but Jay's able to recover it nicely and also pick up a yard or two. Going to be brought down just shy of the 20-yard line. It's going to bring up 2nd and 3, just outside of the 20. Need to get down to around the 17 for a fresh set of downs.
2nd down and 3, potential shot play here. Look over the middle for Hayes Miller. He's their go-to guy. Or we've seen Brody Brigham be the guy also in the passing game here inside the red zone. He's lined up bottom of the screen in a wide position.
You know, more on him in a second. Hayden Jay kind of gets held up. Might have been a broken play right there, but one of the players that we saw in on that formation was Will Smoots, big number 87, 6'4". Young Mr. Woods is a big, or Smoots, beg your pardon, is a big target. And talking with Coach Mike Strack, I said, you know, who are the players that have really kind of surprised you so far this season? He said, without a doubt, that's got to be Will Smoots, and he's done a lot of extra work beyond the practice, after-school practice with a lot of self-study and film study as well. He's also in there on this one. Hayden Jay's going to keep it himself, turns the corner, pushed out of bounds, and a little extra there. Once again, that's big 58 in Bloom.
And an opportunity here. Do you go for it here on 4th and 2, or do you take your points and go for a 2-score lead?
4th and 2. Clocks are running. 6:52 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
Defensive line has to know the down and distance. They're going to try and get you to jump here. Have to be smart. Can't give them a free yard here on 4th and 2. This is the money play here for their defensive line.
Hayes Miller, top of your screen. Or I beg your pardon. Preston Oliver, top of your screen. Hayes Miller to the bottom. Single back set is Baker in motion. 2 tight end set for Mill Valley. Hayden Jay trying for the hard count. 3, 2, 1 second. They're going to call a timeout to think this one over at the 6:26 mark. Left to play in the 3rd quarter. Mill Valley up 21-14 with a big 4th and 2 after we come back. And you're watching it live on 810varsity.com. Fourth and 2, 6:26 left to play in the 3rd quarter. Mill Valley with the offense on the field. Hayden Jay, Tristan Baker, 2 tight end set. Jay wants to throw. He's under pressure. Nowhere to go. He scrambles. He's got a little bit of green, a cutback, and he's got the first down inside the 15-yard line, but we have a flag on the field. Temporarily a first down for Mill Valley.
I think that's just a pink towel.
It might be a pink, yellow. It's all the same.
Or maybe we're talking about Preston Oliver's shoes.
Well, that could be. Maybe I was blinded by those shoes. Mr. Oliver, my goodness. Mr. Oliver down here on the near side, 5:58, 5:57 left to play. Hayden J is going to go ahead and keep it himself over to the right side, short side of the field, pushed out of bounds. Gain of about 2. And what a tough young man he is. He is not afraid to go between the tackles, and he's also not afraid to kind of lower his shoulder and try to get those extra yards for his Jaguars.
Yeah, and I really respect that from Hayden J, especially since Tristan Baker has carried the load mostly for the offense here in the first 2.5 quarters. Maybe using Hayden J as a little bit of a running back. We saw a lot of that at Adrian Martinez last week in the K-State win, just kind of using him like a running back, bringing an extra blocker like Tristan Baker. We've seen a lot of those kind of schemes tonight for the Mill Valley Jaguars, but this is where they've struggled so far. Inside the 20, they haven't really targeted Hayes Miller that much here inside the red zone. I would like to see them do that here. They got one-on-one on the bottom of the screen.
As we see Jordan Allen kind of creeping up on the left side, and on the right side of the field, we have Tristan Baker, depending on the spot, awful close to another first down. Might be just a little bit shy, but well inside the 10-yard line. It's going to be spotted around the 7. Mill Valley can pick up another first down if they need a 3rd and 3, ball from the 7. You see Jordan Allen here lining up on the bottom of your screen. He had a nice jump on the previous play. Twin receivers to the near side.
Well, you mentioned
Oliver.
Smoot. He's being the guy that's going to use to kick him out in the running game.
And there he is, following, and there's Baker. He falls down, first down. First and goal, Mill Valley from around the 2.5-yard line. And let's see if the Jaguars can convert. As you said earlier, Chance Lebo, they weren't able to do that on a couple of drives in the first half. But they only have 3 yards to go.
Well, give the Falcons credit. They've done a good job of setting them up with third downs where they can get off the field. They just haven't gotten off the field yet. It's been a tough go here in the second half. Already so much time. 7 minutes off the clock here in the second half.
And Tristan Baker, no sign yet. There it is. Tristan Baker, touchdown maker. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Mill Valley, 13 unanswered points after being down 14-13 by the visiting Falcons of Olathe South. Now with an opportunity to go up by 14 points with 4:41 left to play in the third quarter.
This is a drive that we wanted to see from them. Take advantage of opportunities, take off a lot of time in the clock. Listen, we've only got 16.5 minutes remaining for, 2 scores for the opposition. Mill Valley has to be feeling pretty good about themselves right now.
Come out early, and they strike first in the second half. Does Mill Valley, 28-14. 4:41 left to play in the third, and you are watching it live right here on A10Varsity.com. Max Armstrong back deep with Cooper Warren. Warren had a nice return last time out. Loffman trying for his 4th touchback. Came into this contest with 2 total touchbacks. Air's a little bit lighter and cooler. Loffman's kick, and that one, he leaves no doubt about that one. A touchdown in the back half in the end zone. Going to give the Falcons a 1st and 10 from their own 20. The 4:41 mark left to play in the third quarter, and the Falcons, even if they don't get 7, if you're a Falcon fan, you kind of got to look for a little bit of positives here. How far can they get down the field? Can they pop a couple of big plays just to kind of give the offense the confidence to know that, hey, we can score against this defense?
Well, they're up against the clock right now. I think they need 7 right now. Down 2 scores, Mill Valley moving the ball at will offensively. They need a score and fast.
Carry a little turnaround. Another weeble wobble, won't fall down. Doing a great job by Max Armstrong again. Jaden Woods on the stop. 2nd and 8 from their own 22-yard line. Jordan Allen in, lining up in the slot. Trips to the near side, single to the top. Single back is Armstrong. Quarterback's got plenty of time. Tipped. I think that was Woods. Or no, I beg your pardon. That was Baruch Hasabu. Gets a hand up, and just enough to kind of disrupt the flow of that pass. It's going to bring up 3rd and 8 now for the Falcons.
Need a stop here if you're Mill Valley here on 3rd and long. All eyes are going to be on Jordan Allen right here. He's been taking advantage of the middle of the field on 3rd down and longs for the entire game. He's got to be the guy that they get a stop with here.
Bryce Nornberg motions his man over, and that's Max Armstrong. Under pressure, and they get it to Allen, and Allen, despite his frame, is brought down by about 8 defenders. Not sure who you give the credit to on that one, but you can just say Mill Valley defense. That's going to bring up 4th and about 5. They gave him a good spot as forward progress. Looks like they're going to mark it down around the 27.5-yard line. But I tell you, that's a long 2.5 yards if you're the Falcons, and on come the punt team.
I like the play design there. Try to get the linebackers out with the motion and then set up the screen for your best playmaker. The problem is this is a Mill Valley front 7 that is very disciplined, very experienced. 5 all Sunflower League players on that defensive front, and they knew it that was coming right there. 3rd and long is a bunch of screens, and they knew it there.
Holden Zygmunt was back. He's going to let that one go. Takes a nice a Mill Valley bounce right there. Stopped when it hit the turf. 3:16 left to play here in the 3rd. 28-14. Mill Valley over Olathe South. So far in the second half, it's been all Mill Valley. But can the Falcon defense bend but not break here on this series? Really, if you're a Falcon fan, really crucial that you can get your defense off the field in a hurry on this series.
Yeah, have to get off the field and do it in a hurry. If Mill Valley still has the football when the 4th quarter starts, got to be really worried. Or if they score. I mean, they've already had trouble scoring twice. They've needed some big plays to do it. And that's what we said. We said that Mill Valley was going to make the necessary adjustments on both sides at halftime. Give credit to Joel Appleby for having his unit ready here in the second half.
Miller in motion. Jay's going to drop back over the middle. He's got a receiver. And great defensive coverage. And I know the Mill Valley faithful wanted a flag on that one, but hats off to Austin Allen, the 175-pound, 5'11" senior defensive back, was in the right place at the right time, and he got the PBU on that one just beyond the outstretched arms. I believe that was Hayes Miller.
Well, the way the rules are made, it is so hard to make a legal play through the hands on a ball at a receiver. And I think he might have gotten away with a little bit of a tug on the back of the jersey there, maybe a little bit. But that's rewarding a great play by a defensive back, and I like to see it.
Tristan Baker with the call. And how about that? Pulling on his belt. Doesn't stop Tristan Baker. He just keeps those legs a-moving. Picks up about 3. They're going to say the ball was, they're going to give him a generous spot there. Just on the Falcons side of the 45-yard line.
Well, and that's just all those sled pulls that you do in the offense or in the off season in the summer with your weights coach. That is Tristan Baker at his best.
3rd and 6. Hayden Shea drops back. Got a receiver on the right side. Guess who? Hayes Miller brings it in. Somebody needs to check his hands for a little bit of stickum. Jerry Rice-esque. He just does not drop a ball when it's thrown his way. Hayes Miller brings it down. Another first down for Mill Valley.
Well, they put him in the slot. They get a matchup they want. He's Mr. 3rd down. Every time they get a 3rd down, they're going to look his way. And they have to recognize that. They've got to stop playing man coverage with a safety on him because that's a mismatch that they're going to take advantage of.
Will Smoots check it back into the game as the second tight end for Mill Valley. 2:10, 2:09 left to play in the 3rd. Handoff this time to Baker. He falls forward to around the 39-yard line. Bring up second and I'd say about 5. 153, 152. Falcons have 3 timeouts. Mill Valley 2. Ball's going to be spotted 39-yard line of the Falcons.
Big play right here for this Falcon defense. Got to set them up for 3rd and long where you know they're going to have to throw it.
Two tight end set, another handoff to Baker. I believe that means that Mr. Baker's now over 30 carries for this contest. We'll wait to get word from the truck. In fact, yes, I was mistaken. That is his 32nd carry. 169 yards so far on the evening for Tristan. Hey, what do you call him? He's just the workhorse.
Yeah. And the whole playbook is at your disposal right here on 3rd and short.
It's like a donkey that they're just whipping. He's got a plow behind him. Tristan Baker into block this time. It's going to go out in the, I think that is Big 87, and that is the aforementioned Will Smoots with his first reception in this contest.
We've seen the tight ends used in big spots here so far in this game. You saw the touchdown to Brody Brigham, and then a 3rd down, just flinging it out to your tight end, and business is booming right now for the Mill Valley offense.
28-14, final 44 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Hayden Jay takes a snap. Once again, hands it off to Baker. Baker plows his way through, gets down to the 25-yard line.
And we said this was going to be a test for the interior offensive line for Mill Valley, and they have really passed that test. They have dominated the interior. They are resetting the line of scrimmage. That's something every offensive line coach will tell you is a goal for them. Resetting the line of scrimmage down the field, making it so that you can get 3 or 4 yards anytime your running back touches the football. Tristan Baker needs to buy some pancakes tomorrow morning at IHOP for his offensive line.
You see there's Max Armstrong who comes in. It's a weak side linebacker spot. It's kind of the will linebacker. Relatively clean game by both teams. A couple of false starts, and I think we had an offsides in the 1st quarter, but other than that, pretty clean game so far. And that's going to do it for the 3rd quarter play here at Mill Valley High. 3rd quarter saw another 7 points go up on the board in favor of the Jaguars, and they're up by 14, 28-14. To the visiting Falcons of Olathe South, and you are watching it live only on A10Varsity.com. Welcome back to Mill Valley High School on A10Varsity.com. A couple of area scores of note. Bishop Miege still shutting out Blue Valley 21-0. St. James Academy, the Thunder up by a 21 over St. Pius, 28-7 3rd quarter score. And Blue Valley Southwest holding on to a lead 14-3 over Blue Valley North. 2nd and 11 for Mill Valley. Hayden Jay takes a snap. Hands it off to you-know-who. Tristan Baker tries to get around the corner. He does. Lowers his shoulders, gets a 1st down, and then some. 1st and 10, just inside the 20-yard line for Mill Valley. And this could really be the dagger to put this Falcon team on ice in this victory potential. But there's a lot of time yet. And as we saw, it only took 2 big plays by the Falcons to account for all of their points.
And that was our worry coming into the 2nd half. Could they have a sustained drive against this Mill Valley defense, or could they get stops against this Mill Valley offense? You can't rely so much on that bend, don't break, force a field goal, and just pray, you know?
Tristan Baker, like a robot. Coming up a little bit lame there. As we all learn, there's a difference between being injured and being hurt. That young man might be a little bit hurt, and you know he's going to be probably getting a little treatment in the morning.
Yeah, after 40 carries, I would hope so. And that doesn't even account for the receiving yards that he's had. He's been a big player in the receiving game for them as well.
4 receptions for 26 yards for Mr. Baker. Hayden Jay is going to keep this one himself. Turns the corner, gets inside the 10-yard line. Bring up 3rd and short. Mill Valley can get another first down before they hit the end zone should they need it. 10:48. Clock stopped on that out-of-bounds run. 3rd and 2. Ball's going to be spotted at the 7-yard line for Mill Valley. The Falcon defense, a lot of hands on hips. They're doing all they can to weather this Jaguar storm. Smoots in once again. Hand off to Baker, left side. He's got a little bit of room. Tristan Baker, he's probably got enough for a first down. He does, and it's going to be 1st and goal Mill Valley from about the 1.5, 2-yard line. All right, 2.5-yard line. The unofficial attendance this evening just been handed a card. 3,386. 3,386 people here at Mill Valley High School. Glad you're with us as well. I think that was Baker. Why do I even think about it? I'm thinking, well, did they hand it to someone else? Of course they did. They just give it to Tristan Baker, let him do his thing.
We've talked about this being the part of the field they struggle in so far tonight. Inside the 10, you know, it's not easy to punch it in against these big guys up front. Jaden Berry, Matt Gray doing a great job of holding their own, not giving up much ground, but now ball at the 1. I would expect to see maybe a little bit of Hayden J power play right here, like we saw from Adrian Martinez a week ago against Oklahoma. Get some blockers out in front of him. Jack Melvin, Jack McKinnon pulling maybe.
Jordan Allen lining up on the right side, on the bottom of your screen. Handing it off to Tristan Baker, and you know who he is. He's Tristan Baker, touchdown maker. Touchdown, Mill Valley. Tristan Baker puts the Jaguars up 34-14. 9:39 left to play in regulation. Tristan Baker, 37 carries on the evening. I don't know, partner. You got to think maybe with this little bit of a cushion, we might have seen the last that we're going to see of Mr. Baker on that series.
Yeah, he's deserved he's got a well-deserved round of applause. He's been that workhorse so far tonight, and I'm not sure if you have the time of possession numbers pulled up right now. I would love to know how much Mill Valley's had the football. There's a reason that Baker's had 40-plus carries. That offense has been on the field all night. The big plays that the touchdown drives that we've seen from this Olathe South offense has been 2 plays, 1 play, 3 plays, quick drives, and the defense has been doing a great job of getting off the field. Mill Valley controlling the tempo so far tonight.
We're at about, 9:39 left to play here in the fourth quarter. So we're roughly 36 minutes into this contest. Of those 36 minutes, Chance Lebo, if I told you that Mill Valley has had the ball for 27 of those, would you believe me?
Oh, I would. I almost thought you were going to say 30 because they have had the ball. It felt like that much tonight.
They have run the ball 53 times for a total of 261 yards. Mill Valley's also passed 18, completed 12 of them.
Our high school team was an option team. I think my high school coach would be like, yep, that's the kind of game we want to play. We want to have the ball for 56 plays and more with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And we talked about winning multiple ways. Winning in a blowout, winning in a close game, winning in a comeback. Like Mill Valley, they got punched in the mouth a little bit. They were trailing before the half, and then going into the locker room took a lead. They've had to sustain some adversity so far tonight, and they've proven themselves to be one of the top teams in the state once again against a top 6 opponent in 6A for Olathe South. I've been very impressed with how Mill Valley has handled adversity tonight. Defensively, man, they've just played so well. Just a couple busted coverages. This is one of those games where you're going to say, okay, maybe the score wasn't as close. It wasn't as close of a game as the score indicated.
Each team with 1 turnover. The Falcons trying to get a first down on this one because you've only had 4 first downs throughout this entire contest. Want to take a guess on how many Mill Valley has?
No.
Would you believe 27? 27. And I'm being told by the guys in the truck that of those 27, Tristan Baker's responsible for 19 of those 27 first downs.
That's efficient football.
Out of the game, young man. Nornberg waits for the snap. Full receiver set. Under pressure. Is he going to get away? No, he's not. Brought down from behind. That's Noah Coy. The 5'11", 200-pound senior Noah Coy coming to this one with 17 tackles, 3 of them for loss. He's forced a fumble. He's recovered one. He just does it all from that will linebacker spot right in the middle. He gets it done again, and it makes it a 3rd and forever for the Falcons at 8:30 left to play here in the 4th.
Yeah, on first down, he stuffs the run, sets the edge well, and then gets his 2nd sack of the night there on 2nd down. And he has already shown blitz here on 3rd down. Going to back out of it now.
It's in trouble again. Throws it out to the near side. In and out of the hands. And that was Mikey Bergeron with the great defensive play, and that's going to force the Falcons into another punting situation. 3rd down attempts for the Falcons. They've had 6 third downs. How many have they converted, Chance Lebo?
On 3rd down, how many did you say? Sorry?
They've had 6.
I would say they're 1 for 6.
0 out of 6. Mill Valley, 9 out of 15. And they came and they almost got that one. Just, oh boy, that's going to take a nice Falcon bounce all the way into Mill Valley territory. And if you can look for some positives for the Falcons, that's certainly one of them. That one kind of took an interesting bounce. Looked like it was going to go out, but then came back in. Michael Corleonish. 8:06 left to play here in the 4th quarter. 35-14. At one point, just over a quarter ago, Mill Valley was down by 1. 14-13. Mill Valley since that time, 21 unanswered points to 0 for the Falcons. 1st and 10, Hayden Jay. As we see, I believe that's Sidney Lockhart into the game. And what a great catch. A fantastic tackle.
They're going to say the ball came out there at the end.
Oh, my goodness.
And a little bit slow to get up.
I think that's Zane Hall. And he took a shot. But we need to also talk about big Will Smoots on that one. I mean, as we said before, Will Smoots, he's got a big frame.
Yeah.
He's over 6'5". I think he was like 6'7". And he brought that one in, and he got lit up. And that defender certainly felt it. When you run into a frame at a movable object like that, things are going to happen.
Yeah, those plays over the middle where, you can see a collision. It's not just dangerous for the receiver, but also for the defensive back if they don't hit them correctly. That's one of those things, you want to, like, that's preaching, that's the stuff in week 1 and week 2 of fall camp that your coaches and defensive coordinators are telling you, you got to keep your head up. You got to hit or see what you hit. Those are the kind of plays that they're trying to avoid, not just for injury for the opposition, but injury for yourself.
Gives us a chance to bring up to speed on a few area scores, brought to you by e10varsity.com. Blue Valley and Bishop Miege still going at it. This is in the 4th quarter now. Bishop Miege up by 27-0 over the Tigers out of Blue Valley. St. James 35, St. Pius X 7. The cross-state battle. Blue Valley North and Blue Valley Southwest going at it right now. All Timberwolves 28-3 against the, I think, winless Blue Valley North Mustangs. My, how the mighty have fallen. Blue Valley Northwest 26, Blue Valley West 21. Coming back just a little bit. And Rockhurst 28, St. Thomas Aquinas 11. 4th quarter score. But right now, Mill Valley's got it 2nd and 10. Hayden Jay drops back. Little wheel right out to the near side. I think that's a Marion Graves. It is the 5'10" of Marion Graves. He's a senior coming in for the Bow Cow. Tristan Baker, who we believe has probably seen his last action of the evening following. We'll give you a quick update on his stats here in a second.
Yeah, I see him on the sideline. He's still got his helmet on. He's in the ear of his offensive coordinator, Mike Strack. He wants to go back in the game. He's hungry to go back in, but
37 attempts.
And 4 receptions as well.
And Jay gets it out. That's Hayes Miller.
And what down was that?
Of course it was. 3rd down, Hayes. Hayes Miller. We're being told by the guys in the truck that is his 4th 3rd down conversion. Hayes Miller. one of the top receivers in the Sunflower League, if not throughout the state. Gives Mill Valley a 1st and 10 after a nice pass by Hayden Jay. 6:55 left to play in regulation. Hand off, Marion Grace, patient running, cuts it back. He's got a 1st down and then some more, and he absolutely trucks that defender on the far side, and it's going to take that defender a couple of seconds to get up. I think that might have been, I don't want to, I think that was number 22, Andrew. Oh, my man Andrew, 5'7", 150-pound sophomore. Or where is? Oh, my. If that's right, keep in mind, my name is Sean Brewer. If I said that incorrectly, send your emails and letters to 8th and Varsity. Reference Chance Lebo. 6:20, 6:19 left to go here in the 4th quarter. Graves, another carry. Brought down around the 20-yard line. 35-14, looking ahead, both of these squads. It doesn't get a lot easier for either team. Next week, Olathe South travels to Shawnee Mission Northwest. Northwest a little bit down this year. Mill Valley had their way with them a couple of weeks ago. And they have Shawnee Mission South at home, and then they finish with a real tough Gardner Edgerton that was up 14-0 over these Jaguars 1 week ago. Another handoff. This one not quite enough for a 1st down. But Mill Valley next week, it's a Thursday night game. They're going to be over at Shawnee Mission South. They go visit the Raiders. I believe that is a game that will be broadcast on the NFHS network. Not sure if this broadcast crew will be on there or not. Little miscommunication right there. Good job. Hayden Jay to stay upright. Kind of got bumped there by Marion Grays.
And just a note on that game, I'm not too familiar with the Kansas City metro area schools or who's good and who's not or what the history is between the two teams. You get a short week on the road on a Thursday night, the week before you play the number 4 team in 6A in Olathe North. Potential trap spot for Mill Valley, but Coach Appleby's been here, done that before. This is an opportunity for them to go on the road and get a win. I'm not sure what the record is for Shawnee Mission South, but on a short week, it is not easy to have those kind of games.
And how about this long field goal attempt? It is up and it is through and good. Kenton Loffman with the hat trick, his 3rd field goal of this contest, makes it a 38-14 game. 5:05 left to play here in Western Shawnee. And speaking of that Olathe North team, they're doing battle right now against Gardner Edgerton. And this, I'll give you a scoring update here. This is a 4th quarter score. Olathe North 6, Gardner Edgerton 2. 6-2.
Is Iowa playing? Are they playing on a Friday night?
Iowa, yeah, is Iowa offense playing themselves, right?
Yeah. What if I'm assuming that it's 2 field goals for the 6, not a touchdown, or maybe it's a defensive touchdown.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of games you live
exactly.
for.
Yeah. So we see Valley getting ready to kick off. We'll bring you up to speed on a few other scores. Shawnee Mission East 37, Shawnee Mission West 7, 4th quarter score. In fact, these are all going to be fourth quarter scores, easy for me to say. Baser 28, Leavenworth 24. DeSoto up big now over Shawnee Heights, 21-0. Lansing 18, Topeka West 0. Piper wins big over Turner, 62-6. Loffman's kick, taken around the 7. A little bit of greenery over on the far side. Brought down around the 25-yard line. Falcons will have it 1st and 10. A couple other area score updates. Lawrence 37, Shawnee Mission North 7. Free State 31, Shawnee Mission South 7. As we said, Shawnee Mission South is next Thursday night's opponent of these Jaguars. And a shout out to, in fact, we've got some birthday mentions here in just a second. But more on that in just a second. 1st and 10 for the Falcons. And that one, that's going to be a tough call right there for the official. Did he say that he made that catch? Because it looked like, from my vantage point, that the recovery man probably had his foot out of bounds when he touched it first. So,
well, if he touched it, I'm not sure why they're spotting it at the 32-yard line, because it is where his forward you can't maybe it's only in college, but I don't think you can advance a fumble by the offense.
Correct. 38-14. Mill Valley up big. 4:52 left to play here at the Swamp. And there's a fly that came in from the back judge. But while we wait for them to sort out the penalties, couple of birthday celebrations. Appreciate everybody that reaches out and wants us to give a birthday shout out. First of all, happy birthday to Brian Carr of Shawnee, Kansas. Brian is going to celebrate his 65th birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Brian Carr. If you know Brian Carr, be sure to wish him a happy birthday and happy 65.
And I also would like to, this isn't on the script, but Zach Loy, birthday tomorrow. Him and his twin sister both have an October 1st birthday.
Nice.
One of my best friends from high school. Happy birthday to him.
We're going to talk about Rocky Top here in a second, but also a big birthday celebration greeting to Linda Trimble. Linda Trimble is going to be 87 years old. A happy 87 years young to Linda Trimble. And another Linda, Linda Roth. Linda Roth is turning 44 years young on Sunday afternoon. A great stop again. Goes Dylan Massey. No, beg your pardon. Mikey Bergeron and Holden Zygmunt.
Jordan Allen on the receiving end of one of those hits. He's usually on the giving end of those on the defensive side, but a swarm tackle right there for, looks like the second unit here for Mill Valley here late in the fourth quarter.
This just in, I've just received a text from someone purporting to be Brian Carr, and he said it's actually Katie Carr, his wife's birthday, and she turns 37 tomorrow. Happy birthday, Katie Carr. Happy 37th. 3rd and 12 for the Falcons. The 22-yard line under pressure. They got him again. Mr. Noah Coy, his second sack of the evening.
Third sack.
Third sack of the evening.
Him and Jaden Woods with a little bit of a tag team right there. Those are two guys that are going to be circled on the depth charts when they play next week at Shawnee Mission South and the rest of the season as well.
But back to Mill Valley in the upcoming schedule. As we said, Shawnee Mission South this coming Thursday. That'll be an NFHS production. Then they're going to be right back here at the Swamp against, as Chance Lebo pointed out, Olathe North. That's going to be a huge matchup, one of the top matchups in the region that night. We'll have a tee in that punt over the head of the punter, and that's still a live ball. And Mill Valley, I believe, has recovered it, and that's going to be a touchdown.
Who else but Noah Coy? I mean, he is the leader of this defense. Played so well all night long. One of the best players in the state at the linebacker position. 5'11", 200 pounds, but he plays like he's 6'4", 220, like Jordan Allen on the other side. I'm not sure what kind of looks he's getting from colleges, but that's a guy that's just going to play his hardest. You put him on a special teams unit, let him go fly down and hit someone. He's a senior. He is a senior. Probably going to be an all-state mention this season. He's a senior playing on the punt coverage unit. That just goes to testament of what kind of player and teammate he is.
But he wasn't just out there going through the motions.
Yeah.
I mean, his team's up by, 25 points, and he's still playing with his hair on fire. I mean, the rich get richer.
He got smelling salts on his face mask.
You think so? The rich get richer. It's a law of the land, as they say, and things are all coming up roses for this Mill Valley team that's going to move on to 5-0. Falcons are going to fall to 3-2. Falcons got an opportunity to enter the playoffs with a pretty darn good record. I can't imagine they're going to fall too far after playing tough against this buzzsaw that is the Jaguars of Mill Valley.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they've showed some heart tonight. I mean, the second half was quite the collapse, but at the same time, this is a Mill Valley team that controlled the football for 30 minutes of this football game. They've been playing so well. Can Mill Valley move up any higher than 1?
Well, right now, my friend, they are ranked 3rd in the 8-10 varsity top 25. Only Lee Summit North and Liberty North are above them, but boy, I'd love to see the matchups between any one of those teams.
Oh, yeah.
And we still got a lot of football to play. See what the prognosticators and the rankers think after this game.
As an employee, I mean, I want to call myself an employee, but do I get a vote on the 8-10 varsity rankings? I mean, I feel like I don't understand any of the teams up here in Kansas City, but I'd like to throw some darts at the board and see what I can do.
All I can say is, the Lebo Sports production crew, I think, has a pretty good ranking system that I'm sure that those guys will let you contribute to theirs. The people that vote on the A10 varsity top 25 is a closely guarded secret. Won't say any names, Chad Rader, but at 3:06 left to play here in the fourth quarter, Mill Valley 45-14. And would you believe that at halftime, Olathe South went into the locker room only down by 7, and only a couple of minutes prior to that, they were up by 1, 14-13.
Yeah, and I don't want to say that I don't want to say that I called it, because I thought that we would get a much more competitive second half. But I said that, like, aside from the two plays where, they broken coverages, I was like, we're talking about a game, if Mill Valley shores up the mistakes in the red zone and doesn't have those busted coverages, we're looking at a Mill Valley dominant first half. But the miscues in the red zone and then the busted coverages that ended up being 2 long touchdowns, they really kept them in a tight ball game, or what seemed like a tight ball game. This is a Mill Valley team that dominated from outside of 2 or 3 plays from start to finish here in this ball game.
Scoring update now. Olathe North has jumped out to a 13-2 lead over Gardner Edgerton. That is late in the fourth quarter. So Olathe North, if they can hold on to their 11-point lead, they will go to 5-0, potentially come into the swamp in 2 weeks. It'll be number 1 versus number 1.
I would love to call that game with you, but I mean, I'll probably be watching from Knox.
Tell us about it. Where are you going to be in 2 weeks there, Chance Lebo?
So I'm going to be in Knoxville over fall break. I go to Emporia State, so we've got fall break. I will be in Knoxville for the Tennessee-Alabama football game. And then I just got a text from my friend saying, hey, I've got an opportunity to get tickets to the Falcons-Niners game on Sunday. So
you're kidding me.
It might be a pretty fun weekend on the weekend. I mean, I'm going to be tuned in to the Olathe North and Mill Valley game for sure on Friday night. But I am super excited to have an opportunity to go back to Rocky Top, where I was last year for the infamous Mustard game.
Well, Mustard on the field. A nice little run there. You look for silver linings if you're Olathe South. And looking up and down this roster, they do have some good senior leadership. And, looking forward to next year, you cannot simply replace a Jordan Allen.
No.
But at the same time, there's so much youth. And just like any of these teams, these youth on these squads will look to a Jordan Allen, look to a Noah Coy and Hayden Jay as someone that they want to aspire to, and they're going to work that much harder in the offseason. I just know that, with Coach Ron Litchfield at the helm of this Olathe South squad, certainly the arrow is pointing up, and good things are in store for this team.
I like what I've seen from the offense for them tonight. I mean, it's hard to score points against Mill Valley, especially when they're able to tee off on third down and longs. But you look at their schedule and who they've faced and what they put up. 36 points at Lawrence, 21 points against a good Shawnee Mission North team, 35 against Olathe Northwest, and then 52 last week against Shawnee Mission West. They've got offensive talent out the wazoo. I mean, Bryce Nornberg is one of the top quarterbacks in the state, and didn't have his best game tonight. You catch them on any night, any given Friday here in the state of Kansas, you can lose a football game. This is a team that, given the talent that they have, top 5 on this roster, I think competes, if not beats, this Mill Valley top 5, because they have that top-end talent. It's those guys in between, those guys at the margins that are going to have to step up and play well when the playoffs come around for Olathe South that, they kind of ran out of gas there at the end. They had that really big first half, and then they just ran out of gas. And a lot of that can be, some guys, that may not make the headlines in tomorrow's newspaper that just didn't have their best game tonight.
With just over 30 seconds of play in this one, one other thing that I'd like to mention is the student section of Olathe South. And, I've done a lot of basketball, a lot of football around the region, and I'm not sure that there's I don't want to say professional, but just they're so well-mannered. They're not going to shout out any, offensive cheers or anything like that. They travel well. They support their team, and that's a testament to the administration and the parents of the Olathe South area. And with that, as we see the final seconds click down away here at Mill Valley Stadium, we can tell you that it is official. Mill Valley is the number 1 team in 5A, if not the state of Kansas. And Mill Valley, 45, Olathe South 14. And it was everything we thought it'd be, and then a little bit more. But, you know, as you said earlier, Chance Lebo, you know, these teams in the first half, I mean, they're throwing haymaker after haymaker, and it was really just those guys in the trenches and those guys between the margins that helped Mill Valley pull away on this one.
Yeah, when you can make big plays on special teams like they did tonight, we talk about, like in the college level, you talk about the difference between a D1 and a D2 team. Can be those, you know, guys on special teams that are so much more talented than the guys on the other team special teams. And that's where Mill Valley, they're so deep roster-wise. They've got juniors and sophomores on that special teams unit. They're hungry just to get an opportunity to get on the field, get their cleats wet a little bit, get their uniform dirty for mom to wash. When you have those guys that are playing on your special teams, they're going out there and making big plays. And then you also have guys like Noah Coy, who had an excellent night defensively, set the tone from start to finish. And then you got Tristan Baker offensively saying, okay, coach, give me 41 touches tonight and I'll get you yards after every single first tackle. It was yards after it for Tristan Baker tonight. And then Hayden Jay, the calm hand at the quarterback position, handing it to Hayes Miller on the outside on third downs. When you have those guys that you can rely on, that is what matters here, you know, especially once we get into the deep part of the playoffs. Have guys that you can rely on. A coach is going to play the guys that he trusts, that he relies on. And right now, Mill Valley's got a lot of guys that are like, I can point to him and say, I know he's going to do his job on every given play. And that's a dangerous thing to have for the opposition in 5A.
Well, and it's my pleasure to announce, the Speedy Talker Auction and Fundraising Player of the Game. Hats off to Tristan Baker. Tristan Baker, the Speedy Talker Auction and Fundraising Player of the Game. That's going to do it for us from Western Shawnee, from beautiful Western Shawnee. Appreciate you taking a little bit of your time on a Friday evening to tune in and listen or watch wherever you are. We'll be back, we know, in 2 weeks. Not sure about next Thursday. We know there is a game next Thursday, and it will be on the NFHS Network. But in 2 weeks, you can catch us right back here, or at least one of us. One will be down in Rocky Top, checkerboarding it up down there in Tennessee. But yours truly will be back here in a couple of weeks for Olathe North. So on behalf of Chance Lebo, my name is Sean Brewer. And big thanks to everybody back at the A10 Mothership, Chad and crew. Until next time,